Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakahakadash, Rakatham. Double honors to my apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim on the four corners, who's pushing his truth with all love, diligence, respect, fear, and trembling. This is Itazawa. I'm coming back with another gems for the knowledge through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Yahweh be the name of the Heavenly Father. Excuse me. Yahweh be in the name of the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai be in the name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, JC, Christ, Yeshaya, Yeshua, Yahweh, God. The true names are Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Okay. No further ado, I'm gonna try to get through this. I'm a little tired. I'm on a plantation right now, but I came across this video, and through the spirit, I want to play it because we are coming into some times where our emotions are not going to matter. You know, a lot of death is coming. And if you're not covered by Yahweh Shai, by the blood of Yahweh Shai, basically, you be out of there. You're gonna catch hell and die in horrible ways. Um, and as men of the Lord, as prophets, we can't have too much feelings to what's about to take place. We can only be concerned with the salvation of the elect. Okay, that's what the angel told Esdras. I can't remember exactly what chapter it was, but he told him, don't basically worry about the dead. Worry about, worry about that life that you're gonna receive. The elect is gonna receive. You know. Um, quick side note: this video is not real. I looked it up. This is not a real politician. This was a um, attempt to highlight how the news media, um, it was a purpose behind the reasoning I'm making this clip. Now, I guess the Jake at the bottom believes it's real, but hey, we are in the time of information age, and you got to double check and triple check all fucking resources. So this is not real. This was a sketch, and it was supposed to be a comedy sketch, basically getting at news reporters or something to that effect. Um, Before I play it, so the guy named in the clip is Theodore Barrett, and he makes mention that his wife died. He makes mentions that one of his child, is in a coma, and then another one lost their legs in a car crash that obviously killed the wife. And it kind of hit me like, damn, he stood up there like a soldier, you know. After just finding that type of news, and it kind of made me think about, how would I react, to a certain passing of a loved one, such as your wife or your child or your mother, your father, or a close family member, so to speak. You know, um, Maybe somebody you knew. Because death is going. And hey, remember the scripture says, "Whoever perished being innocent." So none of us is innocent. And these are the things that we must keep in our minds when judgment does happen, and judgment is gonna cover this place very, very soon. Okay. So once again, the story is not real. Um, you can pause it, pause the video, and you can read up on it. I'm not gonna read all of this. So you can pause it yourself. I've already read it, so you can just get the origin of the backstory of it. But once again, it's not real. All right. So, like I said, you can pause it, get the true information about why they made it. Right. If you're interested, because I don't want to read all of this. Okay, so now let's get into the lesson because we are commanded to gird up our loins like a man. And I'm going to get that first. This is like Job, the 40th chapter in the 7th verse. And it says, Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee and declare thou unto me. And this is, hey, look, man, the Lord is he's beautiful in everything that he does. And he's even beautiful in the harshness that he has, because we are commanded to man the fuck up and deal. It's not about our emotions. It's not about our feelings. And we know what happened with Job. Let's go to Job, the first chapter, real quick. He lost his family. He lost his money. He lost his crops. He lost his servants. So imagine that, you know. But the Lord tell him to gird up your loins like a man, and he said, "I demand of you." You see, that's that's some harsh shit. But there's a benefit of staying in the spirit and not attaching to your emotions. So I'd rather be in the spirit, to keep going. As the scripture says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning. So I want to get to the end of this, you know, fight, go through all the sufferings and the obstacles that are coming and that you've already faced, you know. That's what a real man is, that is really being tried. You see, we're all going to be tried. And you would hope to be that goal, right? So let's go to Job 1, and I'm going to read about what happened to Job. Like I said, I'm a kind of speed read it. There's nothing to really deeply break down, okay? And plus, I'm still on the plantation graveyard shift, so I am kind of ducked off right now. So let's get to it. This is Job 1 and 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared the Most High and eschewed of evil. Okay? And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. See that? So he had a lot of land. He had, and remember, those animals that he has, those are not those are money. You know, you have food, you have clothes, you have various of things that will come from that. So he was living good. You know, he says the greatest of all the men of the east. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat, to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed the Most High in their hearts." Thus did Job continually. You see, so they cursed the Lord in their hearts. So they were doing some wicked shit. You see, they were going off. Okay, so whatever it was, but here it is, Job. You know, he's doing a priestly duty. He's burning and making offerings to the Lord on the behalf of his sons. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, "Whence comest thou?" That Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, "From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it." Side note: Satan is known as the Son of God. He's one of the sons of God, and he presented himself. You see, this is a host. This is um understanding this through the Spirit, through extrapolation. Right. This is a council in heaven. Okay. It says the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. So it was talking about the angels. Okay. And look at that. Check that out to the right. Because I have it on the AMP version. And it says angels. See? So this was a council in the heavens. And this is made to test Job. And the Lord Yahweh. And remember that. Remember, whatever tests and trials we go through, man, understand that the Lord has orchestrated it. So, and this is the purpose and the reasoning of First Timothy 10-13, where it says that the Lord will not put nothing that on you that you cannot, that you cannot handle. See, you know what? How much fire to give you? You know how to turn the dial up, and you know how to turn the dial down, depending on the measurement of who that man is and his position in life. Okay, so anytime you're getting confronted with Satan and sufferings and tests, guess what? It was a council in heaven before it came down. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, so it says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, on the feareth, it says, one that feareth the Most High, and escheweth evil. Okay? It says, then Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, doth Job fear the Most High for naught? Has not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and took all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord Yahweh. Okay, so they made a bet. Satan made a bet. Like, all right, I guarantee you, if you take what he has, he's gonna curse you to your face. And guess what? The Lord is like, all right, we're gonna see about that, because basically Job is his. See, you can't pluck out. You can't, if you are of Yahweh Shem Shai, there's nothing that can pluck you out, man. You see, you can't be bamboozled, swindled, hoodwinked, or whatever. You know, deceived, manipulated, because the Lord is ultimately covering you. And we hope that the Lord is covering us in these last days. Okay? It says Satan allowed to test Job. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabians fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain thy servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So his servants got killed, his oxen, um, um, so like it took his cattle away. All right, the Sabians. Okay, it says while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of the Most High is fallen from heaven and hath burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So back to back to back to back shit was happening to him, man. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. See that? So his world is spinning right now. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped. So he began to worship Yahweh Bashem El Shai. All right. He was in a state of mourning. Okay. Which rightfully so. Everything he didn't had, he just lost it within a second. You know? But it says and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord Yahweh gave, um, the Lord Yahweh gave, and the Lord Yahweh hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord Yahweh. And all this Job sinned not, nor charged God's foolishness. Okay? So he didn't blame Yahweh Shema Shai. He thugged it out. He dealt with that shit. And that's some hard shit to deal with. But this is an example. All scriptures are given for inspiration of our learning. Okay? So now let's go back to Job real quick. All right? Damn, was it Job 4? No, it's not that. Oh, it's 40, not 4. Job 40. What we at? Okay, Job 40. And 7. So after all of that, and if you keep reading into the story, what happens? He began to develop boils and all type of things, man. Okay? But this is what the Lord told him. Job 40 and 7. Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. See? Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. All right? So when all hell broke in his world, so to speak, he was still instructed to gird up his loins. You see? Gird up your loins. Man up. All right? And this is a spirit that we're supposed to be in. Because Yahweh Shai speak about us bearing that cross, because that's a part of that cross. Girding up that loins, man. Okay? Now I'm gonna get this Luke, and then I'm gonna go into this video. Luke 14:27. It says, and whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Okay? So you got to bear that cross. You got to bear what's going to come. You got to bear the affliction, the sufferings, the mental, uh, the mental strain, that comes with this truth. We just got to deal with it. We guys got to gird up our loins. You see? And if you don't bear that cross, you can't be that his student. You can't be that disciple. You see? And well, look at the top. It says discipleship tested. All right? In fact, let's read 25. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto him, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sister, yea, in his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. You see? There's a burden that comes with this truth. And that burden would be part of that burden would be separating from your loved ones, separating from your family. Why? Because they don't get this truth. It would always be contention and murmurings and, BS. So the Lord is saying, hey, you got to put them to the side. You got to focus on me. Remember, Yahushua said what? He said, I'm about my father's business. So you gotta push everything to the fucking side. Okay? And that's a part of the burden of this truth. Everything is second, hell, third, fourth. The brotherhood in this ministry is first. That's what it's called, the first love. That's first. Anything else involving anything else that would distract you from that has to get cut the fuck off. So it's not literally hating your mother or your father, your children, your sister, and so on and so forth, but it's being able to cast them away. Okay, because casting them away. Yeah, you got to cast them away, man. That's a part of the test. Verse 27: Whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. So you got to bear being separated and you got to bear separating from your loved ones, man. Okay. So let's get into this video finally.
Apologize for being late. My wife just died. All right, we've got a lot on the agenda today, so let's begin. And yes, Matthew?
Ted, I'm so sorry. I mean, your wife.
Yeah, well, as you might expect, the pain's unlike anything I've ever experienced before, but we've got a lot to do today, so let's keep moving, okay? Next question, Jim?
Can I ask what happened to Janie, I mean?
Jim, what happened was she died. It was a car accident. We can't just bring the entire nation to a halt because of it. So does anybody have a question for the president?
Ted, is there anything I can do to help?
Cards or flowers can be sent to my office, thank you.
Do you need anyone to talk to or someone to help you with anything?
People, this subject is not on the agenda today. Believe me, there's nothing I'd like more than to drop down behind this podium and weep. But I can't do this. Why? Because I'm a grown man, I've got a job to do, and so do you. So I'm going to take one more question on the matter of my wife, and then we're moving on, okay? Wilson?
Have you told Bobby and Megan yet?
Well, the children were in the car with their mother at the time. They're at Georgetown University Hospital. Bobby's in a coma, and Megan lost her legs. Okay, next question.
Ladies, stop comparing yourselves to us.
Jay don't even know the shit fake. You gotta research, man. You gotta research, man. You gotta look things up. We're in that time where things is not real, But even though this wasn't real, that shit hit. That shit hit, So that's what the lesson came about, man. He endured. He endured the hardness of what took place because he still had a job. See, we still have our job. So when the scriptures speak about when thou comes to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You see, another precept says you got to arm yourselves with the sufferings of Yahweh Mashiach.
Apologize for being late. My wife just died. Apologize for being.
Arm yourselves. Let's get 1 Peter 4. Arm yourselves. First Peter 4. This is 1 Peter 4 and 1. And it says, For as much then as Hamashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that has suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin. Okay? So we got to arm ourselves and mentally. See? We got to understand that, first and foremost, the majority of this truth, when you're dealing in a ministry, man, it's mental, man. Especially when you're going through shit, catching hell. You gotta believe that you can fight it. You gotta believe that you can get through it. You gotta put how do you say? You gotta put it in your mind that this is a part of the battle. You gotta believe that. I'm gonna read that again. For as much then as Hamashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. So we gotta understand that we're gonna have to suffer too. You see? But guess what? There's a reward behind our suffering. Hey, in fact, what's that? Romans, the glory Is it Romans 8? About the glory that we're going to get. It's not compared. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go, 18. This is Romans 8 and 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. You see? I'm reading the NLT. For I consider from the standpoint of faith that the sufferings of the present life are not worthy to be compared with the glory that is about to be revealed to us and in us. See? Powers, a kingdom, rulership, not being able to go off, immortality. You see? So we're going to have to suffer whatever the Lord puts in our face. Gird up thy loins like a man. Okay? Whether your woman dies, your child dies, you know, your mother, your father, you know, no matter what, we still gotta gird up your loins like a man and keep fucking pushing, man. Ain't no stopping. We at the end, man. You know, we at the end. You know what I'm saying? You know, brothers got wives and families and sons and daughters, and yeah, fleshly, man, that should have hurt. That should have hurt like a motherfucker. Hell, even the thoughts of it is mentally draining. You know, as a father, you constantly, think about, your seed and, if they're safe, if they're, when they out and about in school and, you know, it's a that flesh tries to creep in and get you to get weary, you know. Trust me, I know. But whoever perished being innocent, you see, um, the Lord is a hard teacher. See, he can put you through some things just for the point of you getting that experience to understand more. You see, have faith in him more, believe in him more. He'll get you through it. You just got to go through it. You know, see, the times that we living in, he gonna get us through it. We just have to go through that shit. The righteous shall suffer great things and hope for why. Whatever we facing in this demonic ass place, you know, because hey, this place is crumbling. So whatever we have to face, whatever we have to fucking face in this place, Babylon the Great, the sufferings, you know, you got to have that understanding that, hey, there's a reward behind whatever we facing. You see, it's to be tried as tried as gold. You see, the Lord wants those impurities off of you, doubt, faithless. That when he turn up that heat on you, he's trying to destroy the impurities that's within you. See, that's what that suffering. See, we gotta suffer, but within the suffering, it's knocking off all that the doubting. You got that confidence, and the Lord through our hell that we catch, He's still there. See, through the hell that we catch, what is one of His names? Emmanuel. See, the Most High is with God is with us. Yahweh Shai is with us. See, He said He's gonna be a comforter to us unto the end. You see, we just gotta still walk through the fucking fire. You see, because there is a beautiful reward that will be revealed, and I'd rather be righteous. I don't want to say celebrity, but the glory that the elect is going to have is going to be even over the 2/3 of our nation who had to die on this side. They're going to be in the kingdom. They're going to be good, but it's gonna be levels to it, you know. And in a 144,000 men elite club who then suffered. You see, stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Second, that's just, you know, getting put through that fire, man. So, let me see here. Let's see what we can get. Some more I can get. Well, let's get this story about because we do have stories now. We do got stories. Let's go to Leviticus the 10th chapter. Because Aaron was commanded not to weep or whatnot. He had to, he had to show that the Lord wanted him to man up. His sons were being wicked, I believe, and they got took it out, and he was told not to fucking cry. This Leviticus 10:1. And Nadab